and it was a long, hot day. And it just immediately started a long climb that was just straight uphill, and it was hot. Made it to Whitewater River Preserve, cooled off for a minute, then continued up the preserve. At about 11 o'clock, stopped in the shadow of a huge rock, which, wow, that was a blessing. But then began a series of long climbs up side drainages, and eventually back down at about 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish at Mission Creek. Fire Sox was there, and I want to say the guy's name is Marlin, but I'm not sure. I had been leapfrogging with him all day. I apparently passed him while he was taking a siesta in the bushes, the only places you could find any shade or shadow. And while he was there, he heard something, and upwind he saw a cinnamon-colored black bear moseying along. Just incredible. But anyway, gut hook, and the PCT water report had mentioned that on Mission Creek in the February deluge, significant portions of the trail and significant portions of Mission Creek itself had just been devastated by flooding. And let me tell you, brother, they were freaking right. Required lots of bushwhacking, trying to find the trail, and it was just a hard evening after a long, hot day. So, did meet my goal at the 229 mile marker. There were 10 spots, but it was a tussle. So anyway, we're trying to make it to Coon Creek cabin sites today, and that's about 17 miles. There's some significant elevation gain and tons of creek crossings, but we'll see. See where the stream's been washed away here. There's another approach down, maybe. Yeah, looks like over here. And then this is the easiest one I found. I'm not sure if you can see that round post, but that's the PCT. The walk last evening Mission Creek was just miserable. This morning is much easier. And I've kind of decided that part of the reason yesterday was so bad was because it was the end of a very difficult day. I was trying to make that last 2.5 miles to camp. Just about every day down on this level, I think I'm borderline heat exhausted anyway and dehydrated. Pumping as much water as I can, but I just think that the level of exhaustion, hunting for camp, having to bushwhack up that flipping stream, just kind of pushed me over the edge, but this is much easier today. The walk last evening up Mission Creek was just miserable. This morning is much easier. I've kind of decided that part of the reason yesterday was so bad was because it was the end of a very difficult day. I was trying to make that last 2.5 miles to camp. Just about every day down on this level, I think I'm borderline heat exhausted anyway and dehydrated, even though I'm pumping as much water as I can. But I just think that the level of exhaustion, hunting for camp, having to bushwhack up that flipping stream, just kind of pushed me over the edge. But this is much easier today. Hey everybody, this is Fred. We're at mile 23. Hey everybody, this is Fred. We're at mile 235.5, and I just kind of wanted to show you kind of a typical campsite. This is on the climb out of Mission Creek on the day after Mother's Day, and I just came down this trail. Well, I actually came up this trail, and just around the corner there's two different groups of hikers who are resting in the shade, and there's a 1 or 2 tent site there. But this is listed on Guthook's app and on the water report as being a 3 tent spot, and as you can see in the distance, there's 1 flat spot, 2, 3, 4, and right here 5. I think the apps typically try and underscore how much room is available, but as the afternoon wears on and it's getting to be 5:30, 6:30, and the sun's going to be going down pretty soon, people start clustering on these areas, and competition can get a little keen because of so many people on the trail. And so this is a sweet campsite. Off to the right, you can see there's a small intermittent stream that's actually flowing now. Most of the campsites that we see are dry campsites and aren't around water. In fact, I'd say 90% of the campsites that I've stayed at haven't been around water. And so you have to anticipate that late in the day when you do stop for water, you're going to need water for cooking and for night and into the next day. But this is a pretty sweet. It's under 2 big oak trees. This is one of the sweeter campsites I've seen. So anyway, that's a campsite. I'll take a picture of the campsite that I'm heading to tonight. I had planned on going to Coon Cabin. That was going to be about 17 miles from where I started this morning. But with bushwhacking on Mission Creek, and it's all uphill to that. It's about, what did I say, 5,500 feet here, and Coon Cabin is about 8,000 feet. So I'm not sure that we're going to make that today. So, but anyway, that's your campsite. Place that I've wanted to consider camping for the night, and it has been a steep uphill struggle all day. This is up above 8,000 feet, and I'll just sweep around slowly. As you can see, lots of deadfalls from Ponderosa pine and cypress from the fire some years ago. And there are a couple tent sites up in the direction the camera's pointing, but I don't really consider them optimal. The stream is right there, which makes this a primo area. But down here, there are some better campsites. And I'm going to tell you, for a through hiker to turn around and go back for much of anything really is like pulling teeth. But the tent sites are going to be very few and far between up trail, and we've got more climbing to do, which is just a son of a gun. So I'm going to go back down to these tent sites I saw just down here, because I saw one off trail that was perfect for my little tent. It wasn't too sloped, and which I think is going to be just right. Yeah, we're running a risk with all these dead trees, but all of this, everything is kind of risk mitigation. So this is my spot right here.
So another typical campsite, as you'll all recall, I'd spoken yesterday about staying at that place 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish, but I didn't really like the burned out trees that had fallen all over, and some people came up and said 1.3 miles above where I was staying was another campground with picnic tables and water flowing, and the climb was pretty mild, so they recommended that we just go ahead and continue up the trail. So I said all the cool people are heading up the trail, so I will too. And it's sunrise, and we all literally froze last night. Another thing is people started hanging bear bags because a cub literally stole the lunch out of a girl's pack yesterday. So that's actually the second bear sighting in 2 days. Kind of crazy.